Hi there everybody, this is David, and y'all know me. I love my old school RPGs, and here we have a brand new entry into a series that I kind of thought was just dead. So it is not dead, it has been revived, and it's so freaking amazing. Do y'all remember the Langrisser series? Yeah, this first came out in 1991 for the Sega Genesis, where it was localized as Warsong. But unfortunately, the first entry was really the only one we ever got into the West, at least kind of up until recently. But now, they're reviving the series, and they're bringing out more Langrisser games. And in today's sponsored video, I want to talk all about this, as it was the latest entry in the series, Langrisser Sea of Sword. And that's totally worth the sub as you come and you join a party and you level on up with me. Thank you so much for your sub, your like, and your brand new hype. It helps me out a ton. Now, I was able to see the first alpha test of the game, and it's releasing on the PC for Steam, as well as mobile by Black Tech Studio, and not only that, it is available to wishlist on Steam right now too, and I will have links down below in order to do so. And, well, right now the game is only in Chinese. I was asked to actually look at it as an international reviewer, which is really freaking cool. Never really been asked to do that before, but I like it. But also, I can't exactly review something that I can't read. So instead, I just kind of want to go over what I see here, talk about it, and tell you why I'm so excited about it and why it's just so freaking cool. So, if you've played Langrisser before, you kind of already know what you're getting into. This is a series that's always had a really big focus on tactical combat, commanders, different classes, troop types, and just figuring out how to put your army together. But what really surprised me about this latest entry, Sea of Sword, is how it feels more like a traditional JRPG outside of those tactical battles. You're actually exploring the world. You're talking to NPCs, you're finding things, you're gathering materials, you're solving puzzles, you're taking on side quests, and you're just wandering around the world seeing what you can find. And that's important to me, because, while I do love strategy RPGs, I like RPGs that immerse me into the world more, and, it's just better than going from battle to battle to battle. It's good to explore the world, you know what I mean? The story is also taking things in an interesting direction. You play as the Nameless One, who's basically trying to figure out, who he is, while also searching for his lost memories, and you're also traveling beside this mysterious girl. Now, this isn't one of those stories where you're you wake up one morning, you grab a sword, and 5 minutes later everybody's hey, you're the chosen hero. Instead, as a strategy RPG and as a Langrisser game, you're gonna get politics, you're gonna get conflicts between nations, you're gonna get personal interests, and characters making morally great choices that aren't just cut and dry good versus evil. And I love games that actually give you choices that matter. Choices that, change the game, the outcome, and maybe even who lives and who dies. But before you can really even get into the story, the first thing that I noticed, of course, was the graphics. It kind of has this oil painting effect, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, but it's really pretty. And it's not exactly going for some sort of modern 3D spectacle. Instead, it's going back to the basics with a classic 2D fantasy illustration that fits the series perfectly. The characters also look a little bit more mature, proportionally. They don't look like anime characters. So I'm hoping that, that translates into the adult storyline as well. The environments are super detailed and gorgeous, and it just has a lot of personality in the presentation. I don't need my games to look like a AAA masterpiece or anything. I just want them to look good and to be fun, and this looks just like that. Now again, as a Langrisser title, you know that it's a tactical RPG, but looking at these trailers, it almost looks like a traditional JRPG first, with a tactical RPG secondary, because you really are just going around and exploring and looking around the world, which I love. But let's take a moment and talk about the battles, because that is the meat of the gameplay after all. It is a tactical RPG, and it looks like they've made some pretty big changes to the combat. There's this new dual commander system where you can actually bring in two characters into battle together, and each one can contribute different troop types into that commander. So instead of just picking one and saying, this is my cavalry guy, or this is my archer guy, or this is my wizard, you can like combine two of them together and kind of figure out what kind of army it is that you want to create, so you can really experiment with like the synergy between them. And then if your characters really do get along, there's even cooperative attacks between some of the characters too. Not only that, there are terrain bonuses, just like in any other strategy RPG. You know, if you're attacking from higher ground, you'll deal more damage. If you're on a cavalry and you charge downhill into, you know, the enemies, you'll get a damage bonus for that. You can kind of like hide in the trees and hide in the bushes and get extra evasion. But even more so than that, in a Bahamut Lagoon twist, this is something that I love, always loved it in Bahamut Lagoon, it's fantastic. You can like burn bridges to keep enemies from following after you. You can burn down forests. You can change the terrain. You can freeze a river to kind of like create your own bridge in order to go across and then fight the enemies. So you can change the map to your advantage, which is so cool. Then there's also some new quality of life features. Your commander levels, your class advancement, and your equipment progression are kind of like shared amongst all your characters. So like for example, you're playing the game, you're 30 hours in, you get this really cool guy. He's not gonna be starting off at level 1 like Cloud and be completely useless. Instead, he's gonna be able to jump right on in with the rest of your team and help them out right away without having to like, you know, grind them up from level 1, which is so nice. And also, speaking of the characters, not to spoil anything here, because I won't, but I'm kind of recognizing some familiar faces here, and even though we are getting a brand new story in a brand new world, it looks like there are still some connections and Easter eggs back to the older games. So, you know, characters might pop up and you're like, oh, I know them! And I love that, because I'm a huge fan of the older games. Now again, I do want to point out that everything here that I saw is all from a first external test of the game, so it's obviously, you know, not the final version. But if this is anything like the final version, we definitely have something special on our hands here. The story is mature. This is really exciting to me because, you know, I also wasn't expecting Langrisser Sea of Sword to look this much like a traditional JRPG. I was just expecting, you know, more Langrisser battles, tactical goodness. I was expecting that traditional Langrisser that I've loved since the 90s. But instead, I'm getting like a JRPG Langrisser, which is so freaking cool. I love being able to do things like this outside of combat. That just blows me away. So I am definitely interested in seeing where this game goes from here. And remember, it's coming to both Steam and mobile, and right now you can actually wishlist it on Steam, and I will have the links down below if you do want to check it out. And if you're a fan of classic JRPGs or tactical RPGs, then this is definitely one that you need to keep an eye on, because this is a really interesting new direction for this long-running series. But now, I do want to hear from you. What do you think about this game, and are you excited for another Langrisser entry? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And also, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to level up and join my party by subscribing. Thanks so much for the like and the sub and the comments, helps me out a ton. Don't forget to wishlist this because it looks fantastic, and have a good day.